Quiet on set.
Okay.
Tero Documentary presents Filming in Thailand, a podcast for movie lovers with exclusive stories from behind the scenes.
Rolling sound
Sound rolling.
and action.
Hi, I'm your host Stéphane Lambert, and this is a new episode of Filming in Thailand. Here we are with our guest VITHAYA Pansringam, also known as Kunpu, certainly the most international of all Thai actors. Welcome to Filming in Thailand, and thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Stefan. Nice to be here.
So, Kunpu, are you filming in Thailand?
I am always, not always lately, but yes, I'm filming in Thailand and, of course, many places, whenever they call me, I'm there.
What were the last places you visited for you?
Last year was a lovely project in Europe. That was lovely. And I think because I'm here, sometimes the project, they're looking for somebody from Thailand, and I have an opportunity to be a part of those projects.
In Thailand also.
So in Thailand, both Thailand and international.
So you have been managing a ballet school, a dance school, producing ballet shows for 20 years. And then one day, what happened?
One day I was just enjoying drinking beer with my friend in a club.
I know your friend. Your friend is a famous cinematographer.
Yeah, who actually I was with another friend. At that time I didn't know him yet. But yes, Wayne Muller, who's a DP, at that time he was looking for an actor to be in his short film. And then he approached me and said, would you like to be in my short film?
What was the name of the short
name
film?
is Second Chance.
Second Chance.
How appropriate, right?
But that was the first chance.
That was actually, I would say second chance, because my first chance was that I was running a successful ballet school for the past 20 years, and we still have the school. Always behind the scene, always producing ballet, involved with production, ordering food for people, things like that. But then the opportunity came, and I said to Wade, I would like to try.
Could you imagine at that time that you would have this international career?
Never would have thought. Until the phone rang.
Until the phone rang. We'll come back to the phone ringing a bit later. So you start acting and this new career at a moment of your life when, I would say, normal people, they start to plan their retirement and stop working.
Yeah.
Are you always doing things upside down?
I think it's, what happened. At that time I was 50 years old. I was, like I said, I was very happy with my business, but there was something else. Even my wife said, hey, would you like to try different things? Maybe become a chef, or become a bakery chef.
Because you cook very well.
I always enjoy cooking. But at that time, I was also looking for something, but I wasn't sure what it would be. I had a background in fine arts, so I thought maybe start painting again, doing some kind of watercolor or thing like that. Things that associate with arts, because I always feel like I'm an artist. I need to create something.
I like quotes. In this show, we like to quote people from the industry, directors, actors, and I have this quote I'd like to run by you. It's from Akira Kurosawa, this Japanese director, who probably said, we never know if the quote is real or not, but let's say it's real. It's from internet, so it must be real.
Yeah, right.
So Akira Kurosawa has probably said somewhere that actors are one family over the entire world. So do you feel like today that you belong to this international family of actors?
I would believe so. From my experience, now I've been around for 14 years in the industry, and many things keep surprising me. Even last week when I was in New York, I was attending the New York Asian International Film Festival, and when I arrived at the theater, there were people waiting, and people who have seen my project 10 years ago, and they still, feel like, really enjoy my performance. And I feel like I'm become not just an actor, but I become then a member of the community.
Your fans were waiting for you there.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Yes. With the poster, pictures, and I was so surprised. I was touched by their, by what they're enthusiastic
Yes.
of seeing.
That's fantastic. And do you believe, or do you feel like an ambassador of Thailand arts when you travel like that and people come to you?
I feel like I'm just a small piece of Thailand that want to show it to the world. I believe, when people think of Thailand, they always think of the food, the beautiful, tourist destinations. And when I believe if they think of Thai actors that work in international movie production, there are many, few names,
Very
of course, Tony Jaa was one of them, and many people said that, I became some kind of symbolic or part of that, this recognition. So I feel very honored.
We can say that there is no large budget films shot in Thailand without you. You're everywhere.
Well, like I said, I'm very fortunate, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity.
Why do you think you are this man that people call and say, hey, I'm shooting the Hangover, I'm shooting the Last Executioner, I'm shooting the Cave Rescue, 13 Lives. We need you. Well, why do you think you in particular?
I think in many careers, not just acting, when you started, you have to know what you're building. And as for me, of course, I started by accident. I start by, doing a short film, and then that short film somehow grabbed the attention of the director, and I think it has to do with your own personal uniqueness or something that people were looking for, that they said, this is it, this is the guy. But then when you did something, like as for me, I try to make things differently. Like I said, I was an artist, I'm still an artist. When I do something, I want to create my own style. And I think maybe because of my style, the way I perform, grab the attentions of the directors or the producer or people who are looking for the characters that will fit, their character in their project.
As you mentioned, you are running a dance school with your wife. You are, I know that you're a cook, even if it's not a professional occupation, you cook very well. And you are a martial art artist. It doesn't sound very good, but you are a martial art specialist. You are a master of kendo. So people can look up what kendo is, but it's these activities helped you to build up your character, your persona that you're using in your films.
As I mentioned to you, I started at 50. So I would say half or more than half of my life, I did something before I became an actor. Of course, when you mention about cooking, I always enjoyed cooking because I think cooking is also gave me a good foundation of being an actor. I always compare cooking to acting,
okay,
or not, because I think, you need to know what dish you're making, how it would come out, and what kind of preparation you need to go through to come out with a delicious dish that would please.
But when we look at the movies you've been acting, starring in, you're not really a vegetarian. Huh? You have a lot of blood and meat around you.
Yeah. When I was in New York, I joined a Kendo club, in New York, and I never really got into fighting sport or that stuff before, but I really enjoy Kendo as a martial art. It's a Japanese fencing, and I didn't think much about it. At that time, I thought, Kendo outfit is so cool. I would have fun with it, and I didn't realize it's, as I'm practicing it, it's getting harder and harder and harder. Things should get easier as you are doing it, but after 30-some years of doing Kendo, I achieved the 5th-degree black belt in Kendo, and I started an organization here. I was a co-founder of Thailand Kendo Club. We form a national team. We compete in, many international competition. Part of learning about martial art, I think in any sport, is about discipline. It's about respect. It's about understand the philosophy of the sport that you're doing. And for me, 30-some years of Kendo, I can apply that into my new career. One of the film that I think the director knew that I was doing Kendo, and he changed the whole weapon of the movie to sword. So that movie also became one of the movies that changed my life.
So that brings me to my next question. Do you believe in God only forgives?
I believe that only wife forgives.
So only wife forgives.
If she will forgive.
So you start to mention about this movie that was your big breakthrough. Only God forgives.
Only God forgives. Yes. Yes.
And so I guess you're the only actors in Thailand that had beaten up Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, I know. If Ryan want to beat me, he probably can do it in 3 minutes. But he was, it's a big step. I have to say that even before that, of course, all the project that kind of built me up for that part, I have to really, I feel grateful for, the Mindfulness and Murder. I feel grateful for all the project I did before. And then when things ready, Only God Forgive came. And yes, it was a movie that basically gave me an opportunity to learn, to experience thing that, kind of moved me to another chapter. The fact that it was selected for Cannes International, I was there, and there seems like every camera saw me and said, "Hey, who is this guy from Thailand?" And that was like, the big opportunity for me to be seen.
Kind of a breakthrough.
Yeah, it's a breakthrough. I was guest for the Thai Tourist Authority, the Tourist Authority of Thailand, a few months ago, and of course, talking on the topic of filming in Thailand. And then I was just sitting and counting how many directors from how many nationalities have I already worked. And it came up to 18 nationalities.
So do you remember this list? Can you list them with us now?
Yeah.
Like upside down, it's okay, but
it could be Danish, Hungarian, French, American, Japanese, Chinese, Mongolian, we call Swedish, right? Malaysian, Malaysian, Philippines. I could come up more. England. If I go to my IMDb, I think I could probably just,
I'm going to help you. So, so you're really international, but that's amazing.
Well, I think because, like the topic or, the name of this program is that filming in Thailand. Thailand, we are so attractive. We are the place where people just said, I want to come. I want this. Not only because it's a beautiful country, it's not because the food is outrageous, not because of the location, but something else also. The skillful people who work in this industry, the Thai people who've been working in international production since the Killing Field.
Yes.
There was a film I saw when I was in the States. I was an art student, and I didn't even know it was shot in Thailand until late.
That was about to be my question. Did you know at that time that it was a film that has been shot in Thailand?
Not really, because I wasn't really into film at that time either. I knew that, Man with the Golden Gun was, things like that. Yeah, James Bond. And then when I'm in this industry, I found out that they come to Thailand, they not, like I said, I guess when they're in the state or talking, having meetings somewhere in Hollywood, And if the producer said, we are going to Thailand, you can hear all the team say, yes, oh yeah, we can go and to Khao San Road and JJ Market and, Phuket or whatever. But it's not only that. I think they come here and they found out that the people who work in the industry, the team, the lighting team, the sound, the set people, the art people, the script advisor, they're all ready to provide service at their best quality. So sometimes they only bring cameraman and maybe, the director and the writer and the actors. The rest you can find it here, and we can produce the same or equal quality as, the film that you can produce anywhere else in the world.
So I have another quote to offer you. This one is from one of your colleagues, Jeremy Irons, famous actor, who probably said, I said always probably because it's coming from internet, so we never know, it can be from ChatGPT somewhere. Jeremy Irons was credited with this quote. He says, good acting is like good love making. Leave yourself alone and explore. So, are you a good love maker on set?
That's why I compare to cooking more than love making, because I think it's the same thing. You have to have passion. You have to have skill. So you have to keep practicing and you have to check, what you did. Was it good enough? So the same thing, when I cook, like when you perform and then the director would come to you and said, hey, I like that scene, but can you make it,
Perform on set, you're not talking about cooking or anything.
I'll try to change the subject right now. Before our talk finish, I also want to give you my quote. And how's that sound?
You are listening to Filming in Thailand, a podcast by Tero Documentary, with your host, Stéphane Lambert.
We are back and still with Kun Pu, also known as VITHAYA PANSRINGARM. Am I pronouncing correctly?
Perfect.
A prolific actor, ballet producer, kendo master, a great cook, and a fantastic singer. So since we cannot cook in the studio, let's sing a song.
ไม่ลืมไม่เลือนเหมือนเดือนคู่ฟ้าไม่ลืมรสรักที่เคยฝากฝังไม่ลืมความหลังที่เคยผ่านมาจวบจนเวลาพี่ก็ไม่ลืม except I forgot the lyrics.
Okay, I believe
It's called Never Forget. I forgot.
So it's on Only God Forgives.
Yeah, it was a song in Only God Forgives. Yeah. Interesting enough, when I thought back of many projects that I did, one was The Last Executioner with Tom Waller. In that film, the character of Mr. Chawaret, who I play, he used to be a rock and roll singer. So I think Tom found a song that he doesn't have to buy. It was like one of those, like a free song that you can sing and you don't have to pay to write for it. But it's, I performed that in the movie. And
The Last Execution.
Last Execution. And then when, with Only God Forgives, I remember also growing up, I always loved singing. At that time, there was no karaoke. I always, play guitar with friends. We have a little, a folk song group, a band, a group. And all my bad habit that I did when I was young, I can use it when I became an actor.
Can you separate when you're on set, when you are so much involved in your character, that you create this imaginary world around you and you dive into to create, to craft your character? And the characters you've been playing are sometimes very dark. I mean, you are a killer. A legal killer in The Last Executioner. You are killing cat. You are, slicing people in small dice in post-period film Genia. How do you bring this back home, or once you?
I stop somewhere before I get home. I make sure I go to eat sushi. To go to a Japanese restaurant with a mug of cold beer and then, let the the whatever just happened, go. Or I tell the production van to drop me off at a department store. It has to be something in between, or I listen to a classical music, or I just, watch a YouTube video or something that, bring you back, or read, news or something that it's almost like, okay, it's done. Now you have to kind of change your mood, for it can be really scary, because when I practice or I rehearse sometime, my wife said, I'm sorry, I cannot stay in your room with you, because it's so intense. But like I said, you have to have a bit of control. Actually, because you're in control, you can do what you're doing, so that's I think I use that as a technique, when you believe it so much, but at the same time, you visualize it, the method is good to have method, but at the same time, you should not have the method control you.
What was your worst experience on set ever?
Ever? You see how hard it is for me to come up with worst experience? You know why? Because I don't want to be like, Mr. Good Attitude, right? But you think about this, I never act until 50. I was, running my business for 20-some years. But that was a lot of hard work already to build something for 2 decades, right? I practiced Kendo for 35 years before. Hard practice, And when I got a new opportunity to be an actor, to be in front of the camera, in front of the director, in front of the whole production team, and I feel like, keep me here forever. I love this every moment about being on set. No matter how hard it is, do it 15 takes, 20 takes, I don't care. A lot of people are fighting to be in front of the set.
Sure.
They shouldn't be complaining about being on set. When I was working for Nicholas Winding Refn in Only God Forgives, he always said, cut, it's perfect, let's do it again. And we do it 30 takes. And many people said, how many takes is he going to keep going? He can go for 50. Because of that, I said to myself, why would he want to do 50 takes? Because he wants the best take.
Sure, he has an idea that just pursuing.
And your job is to give him the best take. It could be the first 2 takes, but, the rest is called for the luck, so for good luck. But for me, if you ask me the worst experience, I have to tell you, honestly, I never have bad experience.
This is a question I asked Tom Waller when he was with us in another episode. The Last Executioner deals with spirits. Some people would say ghost. And this is a very sensitive topic in Thailand, in a situation. If you want someone to leave your house, you say, I've seen a ghost, and no one comes to see you anymore. Mm-hmm. So was it difficult to be on set, surrounded, within the stories that bring in spirits, ghosts? What is the feeling of that?
I don't know about, Tom Waller's movie, it's always about, murder, about execution, about ghosts. Even when we were shooting Mindfulness and Murder, we were shooting on the, the place where they burn the body. And so,
because at that time you were portraying head monk
who was investigating the murder and
used to be a detective.
Yeah, and it keeps different energy. I think it's good that you feel that you're involved with this project that has to do with spiritual energy or thing like that. So it creates a little bit of of mood and tone to the whole production, and obviously to the character.
So you've experienced local productions and international productions, Hollywood productions with huge budgets. Do you feel the difference on set?
Yes. I did a film called The Meg. I was doing it's a cameo, but I did the opening scene for Mr. Jason Statham. That was a big project, and of course, 13 Lives with Ron Howard. Well, that was a huge project. What I see, of course, they have a lot of people doing a lot of small things to create something big. But at the same time, when you see some movie that has smaller or almost no budget, we're doing the same thing. If you ask me, it's different because you get the kind of conveniences. You don't have to worry about, when the artist left the hotel to the set, who's going to be taken care of, who's going to lead them to do makeup, who's going to get them into put their costume on, when they're going to be ready on set. But when the smaller production, you see less people doing it, and they were a bit more hectic. I'm not saying that even in a big one, you don't have that. It's always, things that you don't expect. You didn't expect things to happen. It's happened. And so for me, it's nice to see big production, but at the same time, I love the magic of a smaller production team.
But would you say that once, as an actor, once you find yourself in front of the camera and the director would say, action, is it the same? If it was big budget, smaller budget?
It's the same, except, small budget, you may have just 1 or 2 camera, and big budget, you have to worry about 7 cameras, Is
there a different style of filming in Thailand with Chinese production?
Yes. I think it's almost like when I work on French movie and,
We'll talk about French movie after this,
the direction, first of all, I think the character. When I'm in Chinese movie, let's see if I'm a mafia in Chinese movie.
Okay.
Compared to a mafia in an American movie or mafia in French movie, it's all, you have to understand how almost like this, if you work for an art director, you are maybe like my background was a graphic design. If I design something for Chinese restaurant, I'm not going to use, the font from, the classic style. If I do something very deco, I would not do something like, I decided to.
You get the environment into your inspiration.
And you also have to do a little bit of study. If you can look for the movie that the director directed before. And at the same time, also, when you read the script, you have to very quickly understand the mood and the character, or quickly create the style. Because, you said I'm being a bad guy, but in every movie, I'm a different bad guy. I would not be the same bad guy you saw in 3 movies before.
You are listening to Filming in Thailand, a podcast by Tero Documentary, with your host, Stefan Lambert.
And here we are back with Kunpu VITHAYA PANSRINGARM. Am I saying it correctly? I would like to hear you please tell you who are you?
The NG sound in Thai is quite hard for, I think any foreigners to say it. It's a ng. It's a ng sound. So actually, VITHAYA PANSRINGARM.
VITHAYA PANSRINGARM.
Correct. Perfect.
So I can stay with you?
I would not kill you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We talk about those Chinese production. And we talk about some Thai production you've been involved. One of the latest is Kitty the Killer.
Mm-hmm.
So Kitty the Killer was also controversial because, take Kitty and then Kitty the Killer was very creative ideas from the director. Who is the director of this film?
Lee Tongkam.
Also part of, he's in one other episode of Filming in Thailand, a very interesting person. How was your experience on set with him?
Kitty the Killer is the second project that I worked with Lee. Actually, I known Lee since he came to Thailand. He's a Thai, grew up in the States, I believe, in Florida. And again, I think because he was a movie fan of Only God Forgives, that's how he knew about me. So when he came to Thailand, somehow he managed to find me, and then we had a meeting. He showed me the project that he had in mind, and that project was delayed the
lake.
Yeah, that was his first movie. That
Mega production in
mega production, and it was successful. But then he also had many ideas because I think Lee came with a lot of pocket full of ideas and very creative mind. So and of course when he worked with me, we understand each other's style, and he knows what I can do. So when he came up with Kid the Killer, he knew that one of the character in that should be my character. So there was, I think, pre or during or after COVID time, so it was not easy to make any movie during that time. Everybody have to wear masks and do ATK and make sure that you don't get sick, and and at that time I was also preparing to go to Australia to shoot 13 Lives. So it was a bit rushed, but then we managed to finish the project, and now it's traveling the world. I mean, it show in Thailand a few months ago. Last month was in New York, and it's going to Italy, and I think today it's showing in LA.
What are you doing? But do you think success is contagious? That being successful, you bring success to other actors in Thailand?
Depends on how you want it to be. Many people who might say, I'm happy, I'm satisfied. It's all about me. If I'm get good recognition, if I'm up there, if people know me, if I keep getting work, I'm happy. Or you have to say, hey, it's a win-win. The fact that I'm here, it must be a reason, Stefan. I say to myself all the time, you're very lucky, but you know what? It must be a reason why you're here. And I always believe that the reason I'm here is because I can also share with other people. I can also give them opportunity, and they can have the same opportunity that I have. Many directors, sometimes they don't have a lot of budget or producer, but they have good ideas, and you're gonna say no because I'm working only in for Hollywood production or international. No, you just maybe have to reach out and share.
You keep yourself available.
Yeah, I always try to help young actors when they ask me question, or I try to even one of the actresses from Thailand, I introduced her to my manager in LA. She got the work from there. If I knew that somebody can get something from my introduction to or helping them, I'm satisfied. I think that's part of the rewards that I get from being in this industry.
If you could travel in time, what would you tell your own 20 years old self? You're in New York, I guess, at that time. You're 20.
Yeah,
you're in New York.
I was, interesting enough, also, when you think about dreams, right? There was a American TV show way before, or maybe, I don't know about way before your time, but it was a black and white TV show. It's like a detective movie. It's called Kojak.
Of course, Kojak, yes.
The actor is bald.
The bald guy, yes. It was a lot before my time. I read about it.
Yeah, right. Because of Kojak, I was watching Kojak in Thailand. My family bought the first black and white TV movie because we want to see Apollo 11 landed on the moon.
Absolutely.
And of course, every weekend I watch Kojak dubbed in Thai. And when I saw New York City. And my dream was that I want to be in New York. I want to be in New York. And I managed. I had the opportunity to be in New York, and at the age of 20, of course. But at that time, I was busy doing some other thing, like, of course, school. Try to earn, money to pay for my classes, blah, blah, blah. And I found something I liked. But again, if I knew that I 40 years after that, I'd be doing this, I might learn more about the industry. I might learn more about the technical part of it.
Listening to you, I have a feeling that it's almost the perfect life path. You build your life, and then at this time where you're wiser, you don't need to prove anything to anyone anymore because you've done your stuff. Half of your life is already built, so now you can more relaxed way, more secure way you can move on. And then you go into this crazy life that is to be an actor. So what is your, I would say, advice to actors that want to make it? They didn't have their breakthrough yet, and
go with the flow. Go with the flow. Take it easy. Don't be too hard on yourself. You know, it will come. You know, like I said, one of my favorite films is Field of Dreams. The quote from there, of course. You build it, he will come, right? And so if you have a dream, you have a vision, you know the way, you get good advice from people. You know, I didn't plan to be an actor, Stefan. I was drinking beer, you know, in a sport bar. And then the next thing I was doing a short film. And the next thing is I got a phone call. The next thing I was funny because I think the first film, my director said to me, "Oh, I don't have much budget, but we go to film festival together." And I said, "Okay, that's what I would like to do." Who was it? That was Tom Waller. Of course, you know, I did several films with Tom. Tom said, "You know, we go to, we're going to travel with the movies."
And where did you go? Shanghai.
We went to Siberia in March. Minus 26 degrees Celsius. It was like the coldest place on earth, and I was walking the carpet in Siberia, you know. But after that, you know, Istanbul and many places, I think, like I said, it's more than I can imagine.
So, before we part, I have the honor to present you with the Filming in Bangkok Award for Best Guest of All Time.
Is it true?
Yeah. What very nice.
I haven't.
No. This one. This is the gold one. This is silver. This is in gold.
Okay, great.
So this is a mug. It's the official Tero documentary.
Thank you. May I open?
Of course. Open, show it to the camera because it's a podcast. Audio podcast, we have cameras. Doesn't make any sense.
But I can make the sound when you open the box.
The beautiful wooden box. Wow. I hope you'll have tea and you'll travel around with it. And this is how we conclude this episode of Filming in Thailand with our fantastic guest and friend, Kun VITHAYA Pansringarm. Yes. Kunpu, thank you for your kindness. We have the link to your film in the description of this podcast. See you soon on screen.
You want to hear about my quote?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, of course. Okay, let's talk about Thailand.
I only plan to walk to the convenience store in front of my street. To come this far is beyond my imagination.
Okay, people, fantastic. That's a wrap.
I would say one thing. À bientôt.
That was Filming in Thailand, an original podcast brought to you by Tero Documentary on Hoodie Podcast, with your host, Stefan Lombe.
Thank you for listening and stay tuned for our next episode of Filming in Thailand.
Okay, man. Okay, that's Stefan.
Thank you very much. It was fun. Yeah, very smart.
Well, it's like hanging out with friends, you know. The only thing missing is the good bottle of Bordeaux. This is not recording, right?
We're always recording.
That was Filming in Thailand, an original podcast brought to you by Tero Documentary on Hoodie Podcast, with your host, Stefan Lombe. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for our next episode.